We have this guy, Kenny, who's in Belgium. So every month he sends me his numbers. This month he said he wanted to dedicate 868 Vajrasattva recitations to Kimberly and anybody else who needs it. So I told Kimberly in our last session with Shanti Deva Center, but I wanted to let you guys know because Kenny will probably be watching this video at some point anyway. So it's good for him to know that we love and appreciate him doing all those mantras and dedicating them. So
Kenny, you're a rock star. We love you.
yeah, we love you, Kenny. Thank you. You're a rock star. And it's really helping Kimberly, who's not very well right now. So okay, so also you guys, this is going to be my last session with you until the 14th. No, till the 12th of February. And on Monday, Linda and I are flying to Maui, and then we're running our retreat there, meditation and yoga and Tai Chi Chuan. So I'm really looking forward to it. I know it's going to be fun. But it was raining there yesterday. I think it'll be sunny. I'm looking forward to some 74 degrees, I have to say. It's just really, I'm getting a little bit tired of being cold. Okay. All right. So let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And where am I? All right. Both feet flat on the floor, about a hips width apart, and shoulders are aligned with the hips. And imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light that stretches from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just imagine you're lengthening your spine. And just, imagine you're putting some space in between your vertebrae. And come to the crown of the head and relax your scalp, forehead, eyes, eyebrows, eyelashes, eyelids, the back of the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth. Relax the back of the tongue and the jaw, the back of the head and the neck. And allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to just drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And feel the weight of your hands in your lap. Be aware of the sensations of the breath as you inhale and exhale. I think we're mostly pretty unconscious about breathing. Unless you use your voice, you're a singer or public speaker, actor, or unless you do a lot of physical exercise or yoga, or, we just kind of just take it for granted. Breath is something is there always for us. This is your home. Come back home. Come back to your breath. So now imagine or just recognize if there are any sounds in your environment, any extra sensory information. And just allow all of that to be there. Try not to follow with the mind. And then be aware of what's arising in the mind, trying to put some space in between your thoughts. Allow the thoughts to arise and abide. And then the trick is not to engage in the story that might be happening in your mind right now. And be curious about what's in your mind. Try not to judge. And then bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, ones you don't like so much, and your strangers. Remembering that these relationships are interchangeable. And they're all equal. They all want to be happy. They don't want to suffer. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And in the last class, we had a young woman who is a federal employee. And, there's a lot of people there right now in her workforce who are kind of afraid. So just think of all the people who are afraid of losing their jobs. And, yeah. Some chaos happening. So just pray for stability. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. We start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we might experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, Buddha Vajrasattva, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're not looking for a higher power. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we have this little section here on compassion, developing compassion, which is a wish for people or others to be free from suffering. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So think of someone you've hurt recently or harmed, and have a sense of compassion for them in your heart, a wish for them to be free from suffering. And then think about people who've harmed you, And particularly you want to make sure in your heart that you want them to be free from suffering, because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to this power of remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hom Ha 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 Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hom Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hom Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hom Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hom Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hom Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hom Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva, imagine, very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this just overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hom Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech, including yourself. And that also includes what you write in emails, on Facebook. It's all your speech. Next is the purification of our mind. And imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine you walk into a room, you flick on the switch, and the light instantly dispels the darkness. So imagine the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment, neediness, bitterness, your grudges, anxiety, depression, and anger, and jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawakama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, and this is the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So we just kind of repeat all at once very quickly. So you imagine the nectar flowing down from the crown and pushing out all the negativities. And then you imagine the nectar flowing up and pushing out through the top of the head or top of the orifices, the top parts of the body, all the negativities of your speech. And then you imagine the light coming, and also simultaneously as the nectar going down and up, the light blasts all the delusions in the mind. So this is kind of like an extra sweep, but we're eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one. And this is this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And without having this kind of determination, without making a decision, we're just going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. So this determination, this aspiration to refrain from harming is like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new and more positive directions. So first of all, rejoice in your efforts to come along here tonight. Fantastic. And then think of something you'd like to work on over the weekend. It could be to do with your speech, it could be to do with your mind. Maybe you just ruminate about things too much. And maybe a good idea to journal, where you're at. And then you can just every now and then look back and go, wow, look how far I came. Or look what I identified this issue here and I'm working with it. It's all really good stuff. So think, Vajrasattva's delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. That's how he talked. In emptiness, there is no I, the creative negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri. Traversing all three worlds in just one stride, his step, where are we up to? Is this it? I'm glad you remember where we are. We're there. This is it. Can I go? Okay. The whole, aware of self, aware of other, for fit for all, he is the best of men, surpassing all to which he is compared, supreme most lord of knowing and what's known, the foremost master of imparting Dharma, who shows the meaning of the fourfold seal, the most revered amongst all living beings, engaged in going forth on all three paths. With glory, purified by ultimate truth, most fortunate within the threefold world, the celebrated source of all endowments, supreme among the glorious, Manjushri. Okay, everybody. Lots of love. Aloha, Brenda. Thank you so much.